Um, Good morning, everyone. It looks like a lot of people are here, so we can start. We sent out a packet that had the agenda in it, but I'll ask Erica if she could put the agenda up on the screen. Thank you. So this is the meeting of the Guam Criminal Justice Automation Commission at 10 a.m. on January 14, 2026. There is proof of notice of the meeting as required by the laws of Guam on January 7th and on January 14th. I'm sorry, January 12th. I'll ask, because this is our first meeting, if Erica could please call the roll. When your department name is called, please indicate your name and your position in the department for the record. Thank you.
Good morning.
Erica, there's a problem with your.
My apologies, Your Honor. A quorum has been met. Representatives from the following agencies are present. Please state your name when I call your agency name. Bureau of Statistics and Plans.
Present.
The Department of Corrections.
I think I saw the director.
President Fred Berdali, Department of Corrections is here.
Thank you. Guam Customs and Quarantine Agency.
Absent. Oh, there is someone. Could you state your names, please?
Hi, sorry. It's Officer Adam Gray with Guam Customs.
Okay.
The Department of Parks and Recreation.
Present, ma'am.
Lieutenant Martinez from the Park Police.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
The Office of Technology.
Present, B. Santos from OTEC.
Thank you. The Department of Revenue and Taxation.
Millie Lujan, Compliance Inspector, Guam Department of Revenue and Taxation. I am representing Director Marie Lozama, and I will be happy to take back any requests you may have for her.
Thank you. The Guam International Airport Authority. Airport Police.
Good morning, Lieutenant Noel de la Cruz, representing Lieutenant Lenny Hernandez.
Thank you. The Guam Police Department.
Philip Winterly, Systems Programmer for the Guam Police Department. I'm here with Lieutenant Yi.
Thank you. The Marianas Regional Fusion Center.
Good morning. This is Helen Matthews, analyst with the Mariana Regional Fusion Center, representing Fusion Center Director Rudy Gaza.
Thank you. The Department of Public Health and Social Services, Divisions of Children's Wellness.
Hafide, good morning. Heidi Kanata, Chief Children's Services Administrator for the Division of Children's Wellness.
Thank you. The Guam Legislature's Committee on Public Safety. Honorable
Hafide,
Senators.
good morning. This is Shango Matauta. Good morning to everyone.
Good morning.
So we do have a quorum present. We have submitted to everyone a copy of the proposed minutes. Do I have a motion on that?
Make a motion to go
Okay.
proceed with minutes.
Director of Corrections move to approve the minutes. Is there any objection to the minutes? The minutes are approved. I'd also like to recognize the Chief Justice of Guam, who's also with us.
Hafide, everyone. Good morning.
Okay, we'll go to when we had the pre-statutory commission. We got a report from the Guam Police Department on one of the major efforts of the commission over the years, and that's on bringing the records of the Guam Police Department into the computer systems. So could I get a report on the progress? We were getting close to getting that finished. So could you let us know where we are?
Your Honor, this is Philip Winterly for the Guam Police Department. Right now, I know we're going through major RMS upgrades for our LERMS systems. So I want to say by March we should be completed, and all our systems with the LERMS upgraded to current standards.
Okay, then I'll go back. I'll ask B. Santos, do you know the status of the records management system upgrades in terms of inputting data from law enforcement records?
No, I do not, Your Honor.
Okay, Frank used to give that report, so that's fine. We'll table that for the next meeting then. Is everyone still, we had a glitch in the power, but I think we're still okay. Okay. So anybody have any questions for about the LERMS upgrades from any of the agencies that rely on that system? Okay, then I'll move to the Bureau of Statistics and Planning on an update on technology grants. Sonia?
Is she there?
Did she get bumped out?
We can do the e-court case management system upgrade report, Justice Merriman, while we're waiting for her.
Okay.
So is it Baldwin or Rob who will give that report for the JOG? I mean, I can as well, but just that.
Or then I think you should, because I don't see them.
Oh, they're on there, but you know, we've been actively working on the transition from our current case management system, Justware, to the E-Series platforms. We have two E-Series components, the E-Court and the E-Supervision. The data has been converted from Justware to E-Courts. We're just going through and trying to ensure that the data conversion was accurate and complete. We're also in the process of converting the data that probation data we have and case data to e-supervision. We had originally been targeting a go live date in January, looking at the 3-day Martin Luther King weekend for a go live date. But some of the converted data that we've had related to financials in e-court and some of the data that's being converted into e-supervision, has required some additional efforts to ensure that it's both accurate and accessible. We've been conducting training for staff already, but we feel that before the go live launch, we would benefit from additional and strategic training. And so we pushed back the go live date. Right now, we pushed it back to the weekend of March 2nd, which is, of course, another 3-day weekend. The updated go live date will allow us to, do more very specific training on the daily activities that people will have with e-courts. And also the judicial educator is working with the E-Series project team to look up training times and agendas, so we have continual ability to train on e-courts and e-supervision. And so that's the update in terms of where we are. We're very close. In fact, we really could if we wanted to go live, but we want to make sure that when we do, that everything is operating like a well-oiled machine and we don't have any interruption or confusion. Because for us, we've made the hard and firm decision that when we do go live and migrate everything over and cut the switch, it literally is cutting the switch on JustWare. JustWare will not be operational for us anymore. We will not be able to get any of the data that's in there from the user perspective. We would still have it on the servers, but access will be limited because all the licenses that will be activated will not be licenses for JustWare anymore, but will be licenses for eCourt and eSupervision. And I didn't know if our administrator wanted to add anything else on top of what I mentioned.
Thank you, Chief Justice. Apologies. We had a power glitch and I disappeared, but I'm back. Yes, as the Chief Justice mentioned, we continue to move forward to have one seamless solution for both the E-Series and the eSupervision, E-Series with our eCourt and eSupervision. Relative to how that would be helpful for the CJAC members, as we had previously been discussing, a part of the component of our case management system is to provide an opportunity for some interface with the respective contributing agencies' case management systems, including the move towards building the public access component. So I have been engaged with our vendor and heavily involved in building that solution and platform. Once we go live with our both platforms and we are ready to kind of move forward and expand our public access component and access by our justice partners, I will be reaching out to your respective directors to start the discussion and engaging on how we can make the systems work with each other. That's all I have, Your Honor.
And if someone has an interface with JustWare now, should they contact you or someone else in the court?
No one has any interface now with JustWare.
Okay. I thought the AG's office did.
No, they have JustWare. They have eProsecutor. So Journal Technologies is the vendor. We have the same vendor.
Okay. Any questions about the court's court management system? Fred, you went blank. Your audio's off there. Thank you.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
You can hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. No, I wanted to ask the question because it's interesting too with the presentation from the court. Our parole services division, it's paper intensive over there too. And similarly to what the probation officers do in terms of their reports, I'm wondering whether there can be some consideration too for our chief parole officer, Mike Kanata, to sort of like do a visual, and communicate and coordinate with maybe court's probation, because maybe we want to adopt the same sort of process of what the court's doing in terms of their probation for the reports, because parole has that mission too, a community supervision of the individuals that are out in the community too. And I believe it's more quicker whenever we need to access information from that when it's automated like that, especially with the probation office. So would that be something I just want to add in here for as part of some of the future discussions on that.
Thank you, Director. We'll be sure to reach out to Mr. Kanata.
Okay.
Okay. I don't see that anyone came back from.
Please back on.
Is she?
Oh no, I guess, is she?
Sonia's back on, Your Honor.
Oh, there, yeah, Sonia's back on.
Okay. Sonia, can you give us a report on the technology grant?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm sorry, we lost power. I got thrown off. So with the Burn Jag grants, the FY24 awards were vetted and we are circulating the MOUs, and I'll say it should be Judiciary, I believe, should be receiving an MOU sometime in the next couple of weeks. Quarterly reports and financials are due by tomorrow. And for the FY 25 and 26 burn, we are not sure how or when the application will be received. According to Lola, maybe sometime in the next couple or next month, we should know something from the Department of Justice. Other than that, we have nothing further to report.
So is the grant going to continue to be funded as far as you know?
As far as we know, it will be continued. They're just looking at consolidating some of the programs, and so we're not sure what the award would look like or the application, but we do know that it will continue to be funded.
Does anyone have any questions from Sonia about the report due date or the grants? Okay. Thank you, Sonia. We'll move on to item E. Danielle, can you report on the VCCH system?
Thank you, Your Honor, and good morning, everyone. Just as an update to what we want to be able to report as to the VCCH existing system, as we all know, that has been inoperable. We have been working with our vendor, Datamax, and to rebuild a solution that would bring us up and running. Datamax has been in contact with us and has asked us to request for specific information from each of the data contributors, specifically the Guam Police Department, the Department of Corrections, the Attorney General's Office, and the Judiciary of Guam. Relative to the information that they are seeking, one was the interface control document status. We have received information from 3 of the 4 contributing agencies. We are still lacking the ICD information from the Guam Police Department, and so I'm asking Madam Chair if we could ask the GPD representative here today to communicate with us regarding and providing that to the judiciary, as it is critical for us to move forward with getting us back up and running. Outside of the ICD document status that we've received and that are still pending, what we will need is to have access to the various test systems for each of the data contributors. So we will rebuild a solution and such that they will have to have some interface into your case management system's test site, not directly into your CMS right now, but in your IT folks. I don't know if it would be OTEC would have to set up test sites for those respective agencies and identify some test records so that we can test if the data that is being populated through VCCH for all of the law enforcement to see is up and running. And so we would like to be able to get the information from the respective agencies as soon as possible. If there are any questions relative to what specific IT information is needed, you're welcome to reach out to me and I can provide you, I'll work with our MIS administrator to provide you the detailed information. But until we receive the information, we cannot begin the efforts of the rebuild.
Can I ask the representative of OTEC if you're able to work with us to get this done?
Yes, I do know that the GPD system is on premise, so we can work with the vendor as they are going through their upgrade to ensure that there's a test environment, which they normally have. DOC, I think that I'm not sure if that is an on-premise, but we can also work with the vendor. I think it's Tyler Tech also. So yes, we will work with both agencies and the vendor.
And I don't know, I don't see Peter Leangro as the AG represented today. Okay. Anyone else? Danielle, those 2 plus the AG?
No, that's just the four.
Okay. So Erica will be in contact with you, but I'm not sorry. Danielle will be in contact
Danielle,
with you.
all right. So do you have a target date of when these I suppose with the ICD, you still need that. Datamax still needs that
We just
information.
need it for GPD. I think what we can do, as we had previously discussed at prior CJAC meetings, was that the way we would rebuild the solution would be if, for example, GPD is not up and running with their records management system upgrades, and there is a hit by law enforcement as to a specific individual, that it would bypass GPD and go straight to the next contributing agency, by way of example, the Attorney General's office. And so if we can at least get some, I mean, GPD is obviously the most critical because that's where everything starts. But we can, whatever information we can get from the other contributing agencies, will go with that so that we can start to build it. But as I understand, the design of how they were going to build it is that if there was if one system was down, it wasn't going to bring the entire VCCH system down.
So if I can ask the representatives from GPD, have you had discussions with your vendor about this? Because one of our concerns overall is that if you're pulling data from a production system, you may have problems with, doing that. So I know that I recall hearing from the vendor that they're able to, continuously push data into another server where that information can be pulled for the BCCH. Are you aware, Phil, if that is the way that they're planning to design that? Because they're doing that for some of their other data reporting systems, I believe, which
Well, I know there is an interface folder inside the database server that I would need to reach out to Tyler Tech to see what or how the VCCH was connected, because prior to us migrating to the new environment, I believe that the VCCH was connected to the really old server before we did migrate over. So I need to see or work with the vendor to see if they're able to see that on the back end. But it shouldn't be a problem to interface though with Tyler with the VCCH again.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be a question of how that's going to be done and whether we'll be able to pull data or whether the data will be pushed out and using the API. But we probably should have those conversations now while the upgrade is going, anticipating the build out.
Yeah, because we are trying to get that system back up and running as quickly as possible, because it's been out of commission for several months now. So we appreciate the cooperation among the agencies so we can get that going again.
No problem. You can just you can email me after the meeting and we can start I can start working on emails being sent to Tyler Tech, so that way we can see if we can get them connected before our go live.
Okay, that'd be great.
If I can ask, Phil, do you have a copy of that ICD request from because I can't locate that myself.
Not at the moment, no.
Okay.
But not that I
So
have.
maybe that's the first thing that we need to finish.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, if Your Honor, if I may, I will ask Colonel Joe to communicate with Phil relative to GPD's ICD, so we know that that is true. That's the first thing we would want. So to get the information, the specific information relative to what we want at the
Can you
onset.
make sure it goes to B too?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, this is the way we provide the most assistance to law enforcement officers in the field. So we really want to get that up and running again for officer safety throughout the island. Okay, any other questions about the VCCH? Okay, thank you. We will have the law requires that we have quarterly meetings. So our next meeting will be in mid-April 2026. And we'll give you a more specific date closer to that time. I'm not aware of any communications. So under open discussion, there were some items I wanted to bring up. First of all, we need to form a committee to draft permanent bylaws. So if you're interested in being in that committee, please contact Danielle Rossetti or Nathan Tennyson. I'm going to appoint Nathan Tennyson as chair of the committee. He's the one who drafted the existing temporary bylaws we have. We need to really address two important areas of cooperation that are very important, is the data sharing governance and cybersecurity. So the bylaws are going to have a little more meat in them other than just procedural rules for conducting minutes, the meetings and minutes for the meetings. Anybody have any comments or want to be on the bylaw committee? I'm going to ask B if someone from OTEC can be on that. You can let Erica Pinko know who that would be. Anybody else want to be on it? Okay. And then I wanted to ask what future agenda items anyone may wish to include in the minutes, in the meetings of the future. Okay, if you have any suggestions, please send them to Erica.
I think it would be helpful if we do just a short report, if we can, on the ongoing technology projects that each of the respective members are undertaking, because I think it would be good, not only for knowledge to share amongst the others, but also determine if there's ways that we can collaborate on some of those projects, or take advantage of that technology that they have. I mean, it shouldn't be longer than just a couple of minutes, obviously, because if you look at the number of members that are in there, but just a brief update on any technological undertakings that are being done by the respective members of CJAC.
Okay, that would probably be good, because fortunately we've been able to get a number of things up and running. So it would be good to know where we are now and what's in the future. So that'll be on the agenda for the next meeting. Just a brief report on whatever you're doing.
Maximum 2 minutes, because you have 16, 17 members. That's a half an hour already, right? But just a brief update, because I think it will help us. Also, there might be things that we could assist with based on prior experience, or that we might want to take advantage of from what you're doing in your respective agency.
And then we have an old report, the Aegis report, that we've used as a guide on how to develop technology in the government with respect to law enforcement. So if anyone has any additional strategic initiatives they think we should undertake, we'd like to put that on the agenda for discussion as well. So we have ongoing, obviously, things like cybersecurity for the entire government, but if there's other items that you think we should work on, let's put that on the agenda for further discussion. So I had my shot at open discussion. Anybody else want to raise anything?
I know you brought up the report, Justice Merriman, and I know Colonel Leon Guerrero, we have talked about in the past the IGES Institute and their digital evidence management and integrity standards. And one of the things we've tried to look at is ensuring that we become III compliant. So we should, again, take that report that Justice Merriman referred to and start examining what the next steps are for us to become III compliant, because I think it opens up a lot of opportunities for us that we are not able to leverage right now. Joe?
Yes, sir. Thank you for that. And so that is definitely the way forward as far as trying to manage our own arrest records, and at this point in time, not being III participants with the FBI. FBI manages all handling of those records that we submit from Guam. And so majority or most, if not all of the 50 states and not necessarily the territories, but they're already III participants. In fact, they're national fingerprint file states that control their own data and their own destiny as far as managing what we need to manage in our regard. And so I'm hoping that we do, I can kind of reach back to the FBI and have them do another presentation online, and or if they're able to come over to Guam or fly to Guam and present, that would even provide an option for others to understand it, get well versed with having to become a III participant. But yes, sir, that was part of the IGES IGES findings. Is hopefully we can kind of align with that aspect of being III. But yeah, thank you, sir.
I want to just add in on
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Senator?
Yes, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt the director from DOC. But Justice Torres, is there a rule policy cost to become III compliant?
Joe might be in a better position to do that, but the III, as Joe mentioned, the compliance with III is crucial for ensuring that the criminal history is accurately and securely shared amongst different jurisdictions. The AGIS report identifies some of the things that we have to do in order to become III compliant. One of the first things we did, and you did with this bill, is standardize the Criminal Justice Automation Commission and make it. And so that was one of the things that was recommended as well in that report, that it had to be statutory based and not just an ad hoc committee anymore. So we will, the AGIS report, it's been a while since I've looked at it, identifies what's required, what we have to do. I mean, there will be some things that will be there, and there may be additional policy changes that might have to be undertaken, but the formation and codification of this commission was one big step already towards that.
So
Yeah, thank you so much. Why I asked, just in case that there is that need, maybe the next step. I'm happy to assist where I can.
And sir, just to answer that, Senator, there's no cost to having to participate in or become III participants. The overall cost, of course, is establishing and validating our CCH or our VCCH and having to kind of ensure that all parties, and I kind of bring up the parties as far as GPD, AGs, the courts, and correction as the primary entity, so that everyone, the buy-in is there, so that they all understand that that data point of having to meet FBI requirements is already spelled out. It's just a matter of ensuring that we establish the VCCH, make sure it's functioning effectively, and then meeting other specific requirements with the FBI. That kind of gave way to having to update the Guam PD, their records with the state ID as well as FBI numbers, and that's why there's data entry clerks. They're populating the data as what Frank Lujan has been providing for a couple years, and so that's where that's at. I think in the future, as we complete the VCCH project or all the integration is accomplished, that we can kind of look forward to now pulling that data from Guam PD and kind of pushing it to the disparate systems so everyone is synchronized and that we can kind of go forward to meet FBI requirements to become III participants. But that's where we're at, sir. That.
Your Honor, if I may add to that, I just report one of the things perhaps we might want to consider putting on the upcoming meeting agenda is there has to be some discussion to, the IGES report makes some recommendations relative to upgrading and building a solution for all of law enforcement. And so while we are working to rebuild the VCCH with our vendor Datamax, we should already start looking at, the commission should start looking at ways to start the procurement process for a new criminal history system. And so there is quite a bit of information that is included in the IGES report, although dated. There's still a lot of important information that I think the commission should consider
It's a good,
looking at.
yeah, it's a good baseline to look at where we were at, a few years ago. Obviously there were some things that we needed to undertake. But Danielle, could you share that with the members?
Yes.
Get that out to the members so we have that available for the next meeting.
I was gonna add in on the, information sharing, because there's a distinction between information sharing and intelligence sharing. Because information is, when it's converted to intelligence, then that's when you start seeing some restrictions. And then that's where you start seeing individuals start to look at just who receives this intelligence information. The reason why I'm saying that is when we have future meetings, and at Department of Corrections, I establish a strategic threat management office, which consists of our fugitive apprehension unit for escapes and our strategic threat intelligence unit, which shares reports with the Office of the Attorney Generals. And I think some of the gaps there is that, or some of the vulnerabilities there is that it's paper intensive again, right? And it probably similar to the Guam Police Department, where their intelligence unit is at, and how they would share information versus intelligence to the Guam Attorney General's office, which of course is extracted from what we get here from this information sharing platforms that we have, right? And using technology. So I would just want to just add on, and I know the Marianas Regional Fusion Center have their rep in here, but in Homeland Security, they have what they call an information sharing analysis center, right? And the components of that include not only just government officials, but sometimes private sector officials who are in that affiliated with situations of, let's say, for instance, cyber attacks or cyber intrusions, right? Because we have telecommunications companies here. So I just want to throw that in, that might be something that when we have these meetings to add in on to the agenda, of where we would be at and where we want to go to in terms of direction on that.
Thank you, Fred. That's very helpful.
Yeah.
Anyone else want to comment?
Just one final administrative note, Your Honor. Just as a reminder, we still need the agencies to provide their designation letters. I understand that as of today, we've only received a designation signed letter from BSP. So if you're here on behalf of an agency and your director is not here, we do need those designated letters for our CJAC records. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else have any discussion? Well, I'm sad to announce almost, this is my last meeting with CJAC. A few minutes ago, I was elected Chief Justice for the next 3 years. And so the current Chief Justice and I are going to change chairs, so to speak. He will convene and be the court representative and chair starting actually next week, but for the April meeting, he'll be the chair of the meeting. And I just want to say, I've been chairing this for several years now, and I really appreciate the commitment all of you have had to improving the criminal justice communication systems. We started this many, many years ago to improve officer safety and community safety, and I think we've, over the many years, come a long way. So I just want to say I hope the work continues successfully under the new chair, and to personally thank you for those that have been participating for your commitment to the commission. And with that, I think we're ready to adjourn unless someone has something.
Thank you, Justice Merriman. Justice Merriman, I used to be the chair of CJAC a while back before Justice Merriman took over, so it's not old news to me to be back in this position as chair of CJAC, and I look forward to it. I'm always enthusiastic about technology and technology projects, and this is an exciting period to be the CJAC chair because of all the changes that are coming to the various agencies. And so we look forward to working with all of you so that we're able to better serve the people and discharge our duties, regarding criminal justice information on the island to make us a safer community. So thank you. And thank you, Justice Merriman, for having the confidence in when you become CJ, designating me to be the chair. So she'll turn in her designation letter, and so all of you should as well. If the agency head is going to remain, under the statute, I don't think there's a requirement that you turn in a letter. But if the agency head is not going to be continuing as the member or coming to the meetings, I would suggest that you have the designee in accordance with the statute.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Have a good day.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Thank you and Happy New Year, everyone.
Thank you. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.